Mm,
And
true.
what is the skill or knowledge that these innovation leaders need to know better than today?
I think, I mean, from what I see, Adi, is, I mean, if you look at the typical CEO of a typical company, he or she has made his or her career in that established business, right? He started off in one department, maybe got an international assignment, returned back, became VP, SVP, and ended up in CEO. So his or her life was basically in he or she was walking around in a red shirt, to put it like that. Now they understand that innovation is important, right? But I find only few CEOs that really understand that innovation is not a process. It's more a flow, if you will. I mean, there's the term disciplined entrepreneurship, right? You would build, test, measure, learn, repeat. If things do not work, you take a step back, you pivot, you try other things until you finally nail it, and then you scale it, right? So I think the skill that they need to learn is to understand more about these two systems and what it takes, what kind of innovation infrastructure the company needs for their purposes, to align these two systems to basically make innovation pay, if you will, right? To really build new businesses and help corporate transformation.
The same could be said about the board. We're talking
Definitely,
about the C level, but the board is
definitely.
specific people too, right?
Definitely, definitely. And I make to make a very sharp point about that. I mean, if you're a CEO, right, and you have a promising corporate startup, right, that did all this validation, the Lean Scaleup framework talks about worthy to be scaled and ready to be scaled, right? And now these people stand in front of you and they tell you, well, we only need 20 million, and then we generate a business that will be massive in the future, right? Will be the new business arena for the company in 5 years. Well, I mean, you could think, well, do I invest 20 million in that, right? Or do I invest 20 million in strengthening my core business, right? Where I have a lot of certainty that, for instance, I get more revenues or reduce the unit costs, make more margin, etc. Keeping in mind that he might be saying, well, my tenure is still only 3 more years to go, then I retire. I mean,
Ah,
these kind of personal agendas also play a role. It's not
yeah, of
about the
course.
intellectual exercise alone.
Yeah, of course. And it's the same goes for the ones who are taking care of the stakeholders and what they get.
Yeah.
They invested something, they want to get the return, right?
Yes, definitely.
And the CEO itself, he would say, okay, this is the mark. I could either go be safe on what we could do and deliver what I'm incentivized to do, right? So I need to have
Mm,
this the in next quarter and next quarter. And this is something which is futuristic. It has lots of unknowns, and I don't know if in my lifetime as a CEO I will ever see that. It goes like, I think it's really related to politics too, right? So you have like
exactly.
4 years.
Yeah, and exactly. And I mean, if you think about all these digital plays, Adi, I mean, I've worked with corporate startups that are pushing the envelope when it comes to artificial intelligence. I've worked with other corporate startups that are doing great things on the blockchain, right? I mean, I can only follow them up to a point, right? And I imagine that a more seasoned, experienced CEO in his 50s, 60s, etc., really doesn't understand what's going on. So you have those corporate startups, and they will provide all the proof. They have the pilot clients. They have already a decent revenue, and they're saying we only need 10 or 20 million to take it to scale. And he says, well, it makes a lot of sense, but I don't understand what these guys are talking about.
Yeah.
So should I take the risks? Should I strengthen my core business? I mean, that's the real tough issues when it comes to dual leadership.
Yeah, I think that they need to think more like a VC, and that's a different kind of mindset and skill in order to
Exactly.
really think about it this way.
Exactly. And it turns out the best way to scale up these corporate startups is to take on, as you said, a VC type mindset, right? So you talk about earmarked funding, putting away the whole funding to safeguard it from the ups and downs of the core business, but then release that funding in a metered way. So only when they hit predefined growth milestones that basically linked together with the product, with the market, with the organization, with the traction that they are getting. Only then they get the rate for funding the next round.
Yeah.
And actually, you need that kind of approach to attract top talent, right? Nobody, if you're a top talent and you're